The great school of West High in Iowa City has seen a new era of renovation and modernization. And let us add more Asians to that because we have a new kitchen, we have a new cafeteria, and we have new thoughts and new directions and new efforts done by leadership among administration as well as among students. And Maria Martin, the Dean of Students, now they call you the Academic Dean, which is a big title, right? Maria Martin is going to introduce her team of leaders who are doing a lot of activities in the area of multiculturalism and activities of students in general. So Maria, why don't you take the floor now and introduce the heroes of West High School in Iowa City.
It's interesting you should call them heroes because, yeah, that's really what they are. And this year, including with homecoming, we transitioned from king and queen to heroes of Troy. And I would say that the 6 students before you are, in fact, heroes of Troy. So at West High, there's been a lot of active participation from staff, administration, and the students in making sure that we have an inclusive environment where all students feel comfortable to learn and to engage themselves in the different organizations. And so we do have 6 students here, Lean, Ala, Laurel, Harry, Quincy, and Sarah, and they're all each going to speak to the different organizations that they are involved in, that they were identified as key leaders for the different organizations. We do have so many, so this is only a small glimpse of 6 students. Okay.
Hi, so my name is Lean Hamza, and I'm a senior this year at West. I'm the president of Truth Squad, which is a club for 9th through 12th graders who are interested in various political issues with an emphasis on social justice and advocating for minority groups. Truth Squad this year comprises of a lot of different kids from different cultural backgrounds and from different ethnicities and races, and that's a big shift from where we started, because when Truth Squad started, it was more of a club centered around Black empowerment, and so most members were Black or identified as a person of color, but this year we have a little bit more of a melting pot.
My name is Ala, and I am president of Psyched, and Psyched stands for Successful Students Inspired Through Knowledge, Education, and Diversity. And so in Psyched, we're a student-led organization that focuses on promoting diversity at West High, as well as nurturing the GPA. So we have several different events during the school year, such as Diversity Dinner, which is actually coming up next month on November 15th, where we promote the cultural diversity of West High through food, performances, and music as well. And at the end of the year, we have our recognition night, which is where we promote and celebrate the achievements of students, mainly academic achievements, but we also have opportunities for students to share stuff that they've been working on throughout the year. And that's a great event that we have. And also, I'm here to represent Student Senate. I'm a secretary in that, and this year we've made a lot of different, we've had a lot of different goals that we've met, and we were trying to increase the diversity of Student Senate and try to get a wider variety of opinions and beliefs, and I believe that we have accomplished that this year.
Excellent.
I am Laurel. I'm the president of Best Buddies at West High, and what Best Buddies does, it's an international nonprofit. So it has a lot of different things it does throughout all ages, but at West we work on creating one-on-one friendships between students who are in general education and special education. And we work really hard as a group of people at West to spread an inclusive environment between special ed and general ed.
I'm Harry. And I'm speaking on behalf of Colors Club, on which I'm part of the exec board. And Colors Club, its official title is a GSA, which means Gay Straight Alliance. But really, you need not be gay or straight. It's just kind of a place where anybody can come and have discussions about any number of topics on the, relating to the LGBTQ community. we seek to educate people, and also both on issues and current events, and also on how you can be a good activist and how you can help out in your community and, you know, help see some change. But really, week to week, you know, even when we're not like, even when we don't have like a strict structure, it's just a place where people can come together and, you know, I don't know, feel included, sort of.
I'm Quincy Tate. I'm a sophomore at West High, and I'm here representing Math Club. This year, we're hoping to have a new trend of incoming members. We have a large freshman class. We also have a new administration, and so we're hoping that this administration will help the diversity in Math Club. I'm also here representing the committee for MLK Day organization, specifically a student committee that works on bringing in members from the community, such as like past graduates. For instance, last year, Zach Walls was at our MLK Day event. Also, we work on student and teacher collaboration because it's important that everybody gets to know not only the views of students and teachers, but to know the views of people who aren't like them.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bigaba. I'm a sophomore at West High School, and I'm here representing G World, which kind of stands for Girls World because it is a girls' world after all. Basically, what we do is it's a group. It was mainly for like minority girls and stuff, but it's all inclusive. You don't really have to be like person of color or just African American and stuff. We meet once a week. For West High, actually, today is the day that we're supposed to meet and stuff. It's kind of like a group where we come to encourage each other. Sometimes, you know, a lot of people don't feel like they belong to any particular group, like in the school and stuff. So a lot of girls that come to, we come to G-World sometimes to feel like, you know, you have another family in the school, like you have another place that you can come to. Sometimes we like have a day where we just like, you know, just talk about whatever we want to talk about. Like they'll just be like, hey, like, does anybody have like any concerns or want to touch on a topic? Sometimes we talk about personal things. Sometimes we talk about just like, you know, entertainment. So, you know, and we're looking for people, so.
So you represent, each one of you represent a student-led organization, right? And the first question that jumps in my mind is, how many each of you try to help or guide through your activities? I mean, give me an example, like each one of you, of course, has some members in their organizations. So I would like to have an idea, about 5 people, 50?
What's the membership
Yeah.
like?
For G-World, what I know is I've been in G-World since 7th grade, and basically they start off with the number saying like the first 20 girls get in, and I guess due to the fact that, you know, people, like when you walk by like the G-World room, people are like, oh, that's like only like a lot of black girls. People feel like they can't really come in because they don't see a lot of people that look like them. But in all reality, like, you know, we just want members and we want people to come and join us and, you know, just.
So you try to convince them that you are inclusive.
Yes.
And you are welcoming people, no
Yes.
matter what race or what color they belong to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In the MLK committee, well, there's really about, I think there's 4 students as well as myself, so 5 members. And I guess I could say we are diverse. We have 2 African Americans, as well as myself, and then 1 Caucasian, and I think actually 2 Caucasians. In Math Club, we're trying to spread the membership around. We probably have around 70 people, but only around 40 people or 35 people will go on a regular basis. Also, we have a second Math Club, so included in the 35 people are people who go to that Math Club as well. Typically, people think as Math Club as something for Asians, just as a general term.
Right.
And so, because I'm not what someone would describe as Asian, it's probably easier for me to spread, to recruit, and that's why I'm one of the sophomore recruiters. So we're trying to become more inclusive and to expand our membership.
So your mission, Quincy, is actually to break the stereotype, right?
Yes, because I am
Exactly,
an
yeah.
example of someone who does break that stereotype,
Yeah.
and it'd be great if there are more people like me.
Which is very important in multiculturalism, definitely.
At Colors, we usually get a full classroom at the start of the year, but then what happens is like week by week, slowly more people from that like initial group will kind of fade away, and you usually get like 7 or 8 people who are really devoted to it and who come to every meeting. Theater tends to take away a lot of people, and also just like commitments to school and such. But we usually get like 7 or 8 people who are really into it and who always are participating in the discussions and feel really passionately about the issues. And I think that, I don't know, even though there are less people, I still think that's a good angle because everybody who's there is really passionate and really into it and knows what they're talking about.
Laurel, I think if you can pass the microphone to Laurel, I think your organization in particular is probably the oldest one among all the clubs in Iowa City Community School District, Best Buddies, and I think you have already history of great success. How are you following or pursuing this now?
Yeah, so Best Buddies has been around for a while, especially in Iowa City with the university, and then City High also has a huge chapter. One of the things I'm really working hard on, and one of my goals as president, is to increase involvement, which I think everyone wants to do in their club. A lot of times with Best Buddies, we have to work in both involvement in the special ed side and the general education side. And I think if you walked into one of our events, you'd be like, oh, look, there's like 20 people here, but like they're all girls. And I think what I really want to work on is getting more people involved so they feel like, oh, like you don't have to fit some like stereotype to be in Best Buddies. Like we have one event a month. It's everyone's welcome, and you just come and have a good time, and it's just natural occurring friendships. This Thursday we have our
good news.
yeah, we have our PALS, which is another student-led organization at West, and our Best Buddies basketball game versus faculty. And this will be our second time doing it. It's one of the things that I want to continue doing at West. I know that a lot of people get really into it, and last year we had a really large amount of people come and support, and it was just really cool to see.
So at Student Senate, last year we had around 70 people, and this year we cut it down to like 30, 35. And that was just so that we could get, like, fully take into consideration everybody's actual beliefs and how they're going to affect Student Senate, and also looking at the different student groups that they came from. And because in the past, Student Senate has been mostly a self-selecting group of students, and this year we wanted to push more students who are from more diverse areas of the school to join so that we can fully represent the school and create the changes that people actually want to see. And so in Psyched, we have a membership of around 12 to 15 people every week. And I also want to increase involvement in Psyched. And I feel like Psyched is pretty diverse culturally, but I'd also want to increase the amount of representation we get from different people in the school.
So when I first started going to Truth Squad, as I mentioned, it was very demographically different than the way that it is now. So it was centered more around like black empowerment and just like black culture. Like it was a club that was not necessarily designed for black kids only, but like that was definitely one of the main focuses of our founder, Chanel, when she created the club. And so over time, it's changed to become more inclusive. Like now, we have some white members, and we have Muslim members, and we have a lot more male members. We've had a little bit more female members in the past. And I think that that's a success on my part, because like one of my goals as president was just to create a more inclusive environment for Truth Squad and to kind of branch out a little bit so that we could have more meaningful discussions and debates within the club.
Well, from my own experience as a parent of a former student at West High School, let me make it clear to the audience and viewers that this school is well known to support kids who have extracurricular activities. You know, some schools focus more on the academics and would like kids to get high grades in all classes. West High is known to, if you have extracurricular activities, you have more chances to get to a good college, you get recommendations, scholarships, and so on. I would like to know from you, how do you get, what kind of support do you get from the administration at West High School?
Well, I think that that definitely varies from person to person, and it depends on who you're asking, kind of, because like I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like just in general, and maybe like the climate survey kind of highlighted this, but like a lot of kids feel like less supported than others. And I think that that's kind of the purpose of what we're doing today, is just to like highlight the fact that like there is a little bit of a disparity in terms of like who feels like they're supported by the administration. And in terms of like college readiness too, like this is also a big part of it, like you said. And a lot of kids at our school still to this day don't feel as represented or as assisted in that area. But I think that's definitely changing for the better.
Well, for the two clubs I'm here representing, I feel like we're well supported by our staff. Of course, we have Maria, who's the sponsor for our club, and Student Senate has always been led by teachers, and in that way, it's pretty supported by the faculty. And I know that a lot of other clubs may not feel this support. I know that, like for sports, there'll always be a wide variety of like faculty, students, staff, like supporting that. And a lot of other clubs, like Lean said, may not feel that way. So yeah, I feel very fortunate for how my clubs are supported.
I agree with that. West High has an amazing faculty, not only gen ed and special education, and that's what Steve Merkel is our advisor at West. And I know I can lean on anyone who's in the special ed faculty for anything I need. I think when you take the step up to administration, it's kind of harder because we have so many clubs at West, and we only have, there's only one principal, and he can't go to every single event that happens at West. But I think that we have enough faculty who's willing to spread themselves as thin as possible to make sure we get the support we need, that they just make up for it.
Thank you, Laura.
For colors, we have two sort of advisors who work with the club, Carrie Barnhouse and Travis Henderson. And while a lot of the activities we do are fairly independent of the administration, it's just a lot of kind of people talking, we do make sure that the issues that we are discussing are reflected in the administration's policies. Like, for example, that's why it's kind of useful to have somebody like Henderson helping us out, because the decision to change the
Curriculum.
The curriculum and the homecoming court this year too was also something that we had been talking about in colors for a long time. And we've had people go and talk to the administration many times about stuff, like also getting the gender neutral bathrooms too. Right. So I would say that even though, like, I don't know, on the surface, it might not seem like we have a whole lot of influence there, just because kind of the nature of how many of the meetings, how many of the meetings go. I think that we actually do have a lot of representation there, so.
Quincy.
When it comes to support, for math clubs specifically, we definitely have the support there. Mr. Kerpis and all of the math club sponsors, which include many of the math teachers, really do support math club, and they help us to be the best that we can be, whether that be through transportation, scholarships for competitions, for instance, because there are some competitions that are pretty expensive for entry fees in terms of, especially overnight tournaments. They can go up to $80, and that's including room and board, but you're also, or room and food, but you're also including sharing a hotel room with someone. But the scholarship options for people who aren't able to pay that money are there. And beyond that, in administration, my mother actually is helping Mr. Kerpis run math club this year. So it's interesting to see that, because in the past, the students have really been the drivers and the people who run math club. So that's been interesting. And the Presidential Advisory Committee is, well, Presidential Principals Advisory Committee, oh my. The principal would actually drop in and see what we had to say and what ideas we had. So definitely there we had the support. So
Let's go to Sarah now.
I feel like for G-World, we do get support, because if it wasn't for them, like, we wouldn't really have, like, I guess, like, a place to meet, because it's like, because the people who run G-World, they work with the neighborhood centers and stuff, so that kind of makes them, like, they depend on them to call, like, West, be like, hey, like, we need a room, you know, like, is that okay if you guys could get us? And then they choose to, they know how to really communicate with them when there's, like, events or whatever, to, like, you know, let Miss Martin know, like, hey, like, you know, something's gonna be happening, like make sure to let the girls know this and that is happening. So
Super. We have a couple of minutes remained that I would like your
Can I
team.
add a couple of thoughts?
Sure.
Okay. So I know sometimes the process of how things happen or need to happen, including especially changes, can seem like they can take too long. And I know I'm part of administration, so maybe, you know, take it with a grain of salt. I do believe that, or at least you know you have my support, and I do believe you have my colleagues' supports as well in all of your organizations, and the organizations not presented here by the 6 of you. There are also those academic changes that have brought on more perspective and a focus on inclusiveness on the academic side beyond Math Club, and that is with the AP and honors courses, and the push to make our classrooms in that rigorous of a classroom setting more diverse as well. So I just, again,
Thank you.
let us know whenever you need more support.
First, I want to move. We have about 2 minutes, so you have to go very quick. To tell me about your aspirations in the future. What would you like to do? How you're going to pursue your dream, and maybe follow the same path that you have taken in high school in the tomorrows to come.
Well, personally for me, I can say that at the moment I'm not sure, but I know that no matter what I end up doing, I never want to stop advocating for underprivileged people and to continue with my activism, because that's something that Truth Squad gave me, and I want to just give back to the community in every way that I can.
Allah, your name means miracle in the African Arabic, right? So can you tell me about your dreams?
So I'm not quite sure what I want to do with my career, but I know that I want to major in political science and maybe minor in Spanish, just because I feel like doing that will kind of help me continue what I've been doing in high school and in the community around me. So yeah.
Laurel, quickly.
I would like to work in international special education. Just
Not in education like your dad or your mom? No?
No, I like to branch out a little more. And I think Best Buddies has really brought
A
me
chance.
to that.
Wonderful. Harry.
Not 100% certain. I know I want to major in English, well, double major in English and cinema arts. And I just know that, like, regardless of what I do, I just want to write somehow because I love writing.
You
It's
have
my
a
favorite
very
thing.
good voice for radio and television, by the way.
I've been told that before.
In the past, I've wanted to do math-related fields such as aerospace or chemistry.
Super.
Although recently I've had a change of what I want to do, and I'm thinking of being a lawyer.
Sarah?
I personally don't know yet, but all I know is I want to, I guess, help people because it just, helping people makes me feel like a better person. And I know whatever I choose to do is, I'm going to love it because I do what makes me happy.
You
so.
give your heart to what you
Yes.
do. Well, I can't thank you enough, number one, for be tolerant with our unwelcomed guest who was here, the little fly that was, and it didn't distract you, and that means that you are strong and really focused on what you are telling our audience. Thank you very much, Maria, and thanks to West High School, and wish you all the best. For our audience, thank you for your attendance and your listening tonight. And we all thank John Karhoff and Michael Peterson, Dr. Geraldo Sandoval, the director of PATV, and his team, all of them, including Alex and Sujat Singh. And in the end, we would like to see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.